Hello everyone, my name is Matt Reed and welcome back to another round of Movie Snobs. This time around, I'm going to be doing something a bit different. As all my previous reviews were movies that were in theaters, this one is from Netflix, a movie called Next Gen. Let's get started, shall we? Next Gen is strikingly similar to Big Hero 6 at its most basic form. It's about a young girl who finds solace in friendship in a robot to cope with issues stemming from the loss of a family member. And like Big Hero 6, the movie has a good versus evil plot as well. After that, it forges its own path. It's more of a duo versus the world type film. That doesn't make it a bad movie in the slightest. The differences were refreshing, and while I mentioned the similarities, they really only come out in the first act. This flick was way more action-packed than the latter, and wasn't afraid to show it, even though it had an almost identical runtime compared to the bigger movie. Talking more about the plot, I want to mention that this movie surprised me at every turn, taking moments that they easily could have gone the safe route on and made decisions that I never expected. While there are always some predictable moments in movies like this, I don't think that they weighed too heavily on the overarching story. Set in what seems like a futuristic Tokyo-like super city, the population seems to be obsessed with technology, even going so far as to have regular advertisement themes suggesting technology interfacing replaces human interaction. I think that this is meant to somewhat mirror our society today, making a comment on how much of our lives are consumed with tech. Our main character, May, seems to be the outlier in this population, rightly blaming robots for the lack of family and friend presence in her life and simply not caring for robots altogether. This movie nailed the casting. Our lead characters, May and her robot companion, voiced by Charlene Yi and John Krasinski respectively, are expertly done. There are times when I can imagine the characters shedding their animated forms and straight out interacting with the same dialogue in real life. The emotions of May on screen were never unbelievable, and I was enticed the whole way through. The innocence and sincerity of Krasinski's voice perfectly sells the gentle nature of what was meant to be a killing machine. The side characters were recognizable as well, with the personal favorite of mine, Michael Pena, voicing the big-headed, tiny dog with a colossal personality. David Cross voiced most of the mass-produced robots and AI, making room for many comedic moments that were well-timed with his own spin of obliviousness and attitude. Jason Sudeikis also plays a role in this story as the CEO of the robotics company and greedy businessman that runs the show. And while I already know that he is a phenomenal voice actor, I think that he shines behind the animation and voice acting he performs in this movie. Finally, we are here, once again with the action. There isn't a moment of action in this movie that was unsatisfying, whether it's giving a bully a taste of their own medicine or an epic showdown that shakes the city. The pair succeed in entertaining clashes that had me glued to the screen whenever they occurred. Now that I've gushed over the movie's high points, it's time to talk about the low ones. I mentioned already that when the plot turned corners, I was impressed, but it took way too long to reach a point where the movie was doing so. Almost the entire first half of the movie was spent trying to portray just how bad May has it, even though they do a pretty good job of that in the first 10 minutes. Anything after that I just saw is overkill. The other thing I dislike about the pacing in this movie is the roller coaster of trust it takes you on. First she hates the robot, then she loves it, then she hates it, then loves, then yada yada yada, blah blah blah. It only needs one hill: a betrayal, a makeup, and a team up. It would have given me much less foot tapping while I watched. The one glaring thing in this movie that I could not ignore, and the only thing I couldn't ignore, is the very end of the movie. Without giving away any details, I think that the ending left a lot of unresolved questions about how things were wrapped up, with many details being glossed over. In the end, the movie was a great mixture of companionship, comedic surprise, and colorful sci-fi action. So whether you're a kid looking for something great to watch on a lazy Sunday, or a 25-year-old college student writing a movie review in need of a Netflix gem, I can tell you this movie will provide a satisfactory, fun-packed adventure for all. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. If you have any questions, thoughts or differing opinions, feel free to let me know by tweeting me at ZTVGoofingOff using the hashtag Movie Snobs. Once again, thank you for tuning into the show. My name is Matt Reed, and I'll see you next time.